Rawlings Francis, also known as Stumpy, Redman and Moneyface of Monthorn, who resided at Happy Hill St. George, died on Monday 28 February 2022 at the age of 56, left to mourn his wife Desiree Francis, 3 children Rickson Roberts, Jonathan and David Francis, daughter-in-law Rena Roberts, grandson Orion Roberts, step-granddaughter Melanie Murray, stepfather John Charles, stepmother Miss Ruby, mother-in-law Loris Critchlow, father-in-law Desmond Sandy, brothers and sisters Dexter, Michael, brother Rodney, Daniel, Beverly, Ingrid, Lydia and Collier, brothers and sisters-in-law Marilyn, Janice, Teresa, Stacy, Shelley-Ann, Yolande, Michelle, Jerry, Shane, Sheldon and Devon, 2 aunts Clammy and Jermaine, many nieces, nephews, cousins and aunts-in-law, many relatives, friends and family including the James family, the Simon family, the Abraham family, the Sandy and Mitchell family of Happy Hill, the pastor and members of the River and Cities Ministries, Bolio, Spice Basket, and the Assembly of Glorious Church at Happy Hill. Close friends Gillian in the USA, Marcella Pascal and family in the USA, Paula Bishop in the USA and family, Christine, Kenroy, Stephanie, Medford George and family, and James Batiste, Mr. Purcell and the staff of L.A. Purcell, River Road, Mr. Ted and family, and Chrisanne Samuel and family, Beausejour. Many friends in the USA, Canada, England, Trinidad, and Barbados, the staff of the Morris Bishop International Airport, the airport taxi, and the communities of Monthorn and Happy Hill. The funeral service for the late Rawlings Francis, also known as Stumpy, Redman and Moneyface of Monthorn St. Andrew, who resided at Happy Hill St. George, will take place on Monday, March 21st at 12:30 p.m. and interment will be at the Grand Bras Cemetery, St. Andrew. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Dorothy Jerome, also known as Dudu of Waltham St. Mark, passed away on Tuesday, 1st March 2022 at the age of 99. She was the mother of Moses Campbell, Daniel Jerome, Rebecca Jerome and Irene Francis in Grenada, Stanley Jerome and Ivor Bola in Trinidad, Ilis Alexander in the USA, and Iris Smith Moses in Canada. Grandmother of 36 including Janelle Alexander, Ranisa Jerome, Randy Campbell, Connie Francis Joe in the USA, and Petra Smith in Canada, and Norris Bedassi. Great-grandmother of 50 including Amika, Joshua, and Jomick Alexander. Great-great-grandmother of 5. Sister of Louise Marshall in Grenada, and Claire Williams in the USA. Mother-in-law of Calvin Moses in Canada. Grandmother-in-law of Sam Joe and Ashton Cox. Many nieces and nephews including Len Williams, Maria Narayan, and Annette Williams. Grand-aunt of many. Many other relatives and close friends including Ali Ambrose, Ruby Lubas, Diane Passay, Marilyn Campbell, Matthew Julian in the USA, the Williams, Marshall, Chase, and Narayan families of Redmond, St. George's, Moran, and Diamond, the Smith family of St. John's and St. Andrew, the Campbell family of St. John, Dudley and Eliath of St. Paul, Anne Edwards, Carol Patrick, Celia Welch, and friends and neighbours of Waltham and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Dorothy Jerome, also known as Dudu, of Waltham St. Mark, will take place on Monday, 21st March. Funeral service will be held at the Victoria Seventh-day Adventist Church, and interment will be at the Coast Guard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. John Reuben Merchant of Guyana, who resided in London and Grenada, passed away on Saturday, 12th February 2022 at the age of 79. He was the husband of Laurel Merchant, née Forrester, father of Carol Merchant Thompson and Alpha de Gale, father-in-law of Sean Thompson and Reggie de Gale, grandfather of Natalie and Michael de Gale, Shamar, Jaden and Saria Merchant Thompson, grandfather-in-law of Lucy de Gale, great-grandfather of Noah, Micah and Jonah de Gale, and Jada Charles Merchant, brother-in-law of Ruggles and Claudette Forrester and Dunbar Peters, uncle of Vivian Derrick, Lucretia Priestnell, Karen, Margaret, Magna Forrester, Elmer, Delmer, Roy and Wayne Edwards, grand and great-grand-uncle of Deborah and Debbie Derrick and Sabrina Derrick, many cousins including Iona Wilson, Beatrice Mingo, Norma Wilson, Rose Bart, Monica Frances, and Eleanor Small. Many other relatives and friends in Grenada, Guyana, Trinidad, London, Canada, and the USA, including the Forrester family of Paraclete, Birchgrove and Mirabeau, the Mason family of Hermitage, the McIntosh, de Gale, Nyack, George, and Thomas families of Paraclete, Joseph Brother John, Raymond Matthews, Tom Wilkins, Mary, Grace Frater, Merrill and Gus Redhead, Rosa Patterson and family, the Nolan and Thompson families, Joan Fleming, the Japal and Mahone families, the Brotherhood of St. Andrew and St. George's Amway Grenada chapter, the priests and parishioners of St. Andrew's Anglican Church, and friends and neighbours of Pearls and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late John Reuben Merchant of Pearls St. Andrew, who resided in London and Grenada, will take place on Tuesday 22nd March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Andrew's Anglican Church, and interment will be at the family cemetery Pearls. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Terence Augustus Nicholas, also known as Police, of Molyneux St. George, passed away on Tuesday 8th March 2022 at the age of 54. He was the husband of Althea Nicholas, father of Jen, Desmond in the USA, Chantel, Teresha, Kimberly, Tyrese, and Zayan. Grandfather of 11 including Jaheim, Tishon, Shanique, Keishon, Shaheem, Lyndon Jr., Simone, Trishon, and Janique. Brother of Kenneth and Karen in the USA, Martin also known as Charlie, and Nola in Grenada. Brother-in-law of Septimus Williams, Sarah, and Adrian Nicholas. Father-in-law of Kellen Mark, Wendell, and Richardson. Nephew of Sandy Nicholas. Uncle of Keith, Kester, Kenrick, Kellon, Maura and Savannah in the USA, Salicia and Sherwin in Grenada. Many other close relatives and friends including the Nicholas, Harris, Modeste and Sylvester families of Molyneux and surrounding areas, the Smith family of St. Paul's, the Sylvester family of Willis, Rhonda, Jeffrey, Sharon Amede, Raymond Hambone Harris, the boys by Tanti May's shop, the staff of Amalgamated and Western Union, and friends and neighbours of Molyneux and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Terence Augustus Nicholas, also known as Police, of Molyneux St. George, will take place on Wednesday 23rd March. Funeral service will be held at the Garden of Remembrance Funeral Chapel, Cemetery Hill St. George's, according to Roman Catholic rites, and interment will be at the St. George's Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Thomas Tomkin, also known as Tomo, of Vincent St. David, who resided at Grand Aunt's house in Scheme St. George, passed away on Wednesday 2nd March 2022 at the age of 78. He was the husband of Bernadette Tomkin, also known as Edris, father of Gleno James in the USA, Raymond Paul, Judy Ann and Marlon Tomkin, also known as Sosa in Grenada, grandfather of Kelvin and Kyle James in the USA, father-in-law of Winston James in the USA, brother of Yolande, Kenroy, Denise, Francis, Francesca, Edwin, Marilyn, and Rachel in the UK, step-brother of Paul de Gans in Trinidad, in-laws including Osford and Joseph Jones, Cuthbert, Roy Noel, Edward Williams, Joy Mason, and Scylla Tomkin and Egbert Joseph, nephew of Joseph Tomkin, uncle of many including Angela, Jalessa, Sheree, Nathan, Taisha, Darrell, Carl, Benjamin, Natasha, Andy, Joan, and Haran Gibbs. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Constance, St. Joe and Martin Tomkin, the Brazan family, Patricia Steele and family, Terry Phillip and family, Pastor Ashley Church, Merlin Smith, Ruth Manwaran and family, Lauren Salim, Pauline Waldron, Shambe, Leroy George, Algie MacDonald, Roxanne Julian, and neighbours and friends of Vincent's and Grandaunt's housing scheme. The funeral of the late Thomas Tompkin, also known as Tomo, of Vincent St. David, who resided at Grandaunt's housing scheme St. George, will take place on Wednesday, 23rd March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grandaunt's RC Church, and interment will be at the Grandaunt Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Eric Thomas, also known as Ten and Hagley of Paraclete St. Andrew, a past employee of the Maribor Agriculture Station, passed away on Saturday, 5th March at the age of 76. He was the husband of Laura Thomas, father of Earl, Nicole, Keezy, Jacqueline, Margaret Ann, and Debbie, grandfather of many including Kareem, Karina, Blade, Hazel, Jamie, Jaden, Zanil, and Duazi, grandfather of Che and Kalim, uncle of many in the UK, USA, and Trinidad including Glidon, Erlis, Phyllis, Valerie, Cheryl, Maggot, and Stanley Thomas, Desmond, and Tellis. Father-in-law of 621 Jerome Buddy, Phyllis Alexander, Esmond Lewis. Brother-in-law of Don, Derek, and Dennis McIntosh. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Bertilda Greenidge, Pamela, Valley Gordon, Mr. Mitchell and Maribor, Gloria McIntyre, the Thomas, Gordon, and Forrester families of Paraclete, families of Bylands and Blazer. Past and present employees of Maribor Propagation Station, friends and neighbors in the USA, UK, Trinidad, Paraclete, Maribor, and surrounding areas. The funeral service of the late Eric Thomas, also known as Ten and Hagley, of Paraclete St. Andrew, past employee of Maribor Agricultural Station, will take place on Wednesday, 23rd March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Michael's Anglican Church, Paraclete St. Andrew, and interment at the Mount Horn Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Lester John Praddy Sam, also known as Punka of Cornet's Walk, Guelph St. John, who resided at Brizan St. George, passed away on Monday, 28 September at the age of 72. He was the husband of Agatha, also known as Stella, father of Claire Sylvester, also known as Ansi, and Candice Drakes, both in the USA. Stepfather of Clyde Campbell, also known as Sam, adopted father of Rudolph Superville. Grandfather of 12 including Corey, Crystal, AJ, and Josiah. Brother of Elin, Enes Sam, and Mystica Lewis in the UK. Lillian Ferguson in Grenada. Many cousins, other relatives and friends. A memorial service of the late Lester John Praddy Sam, also known as Punka, of Cornet's Walk, Guelph St. John, who resided at Brizan St. George, will take place on Wednesday, 23rd March at 1:30 p.m. at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, Church Street, St. George, and entombment of the ashes will be held at the St. George's Center Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Barnabas Andrews, also known as Roger Andrews of Windsor Forest, St. David, passed away on Monday, 28 February 2022. At the age of 59. He was the father of Karen and Rena McSween, Kimon and Clinton McNeil, Anaya, Anika, Destiny, and Latoya. Son of Magdalene Andrews, also known as Tanti Kathleen, and Ted Joseph. Stepson of Emily Joseph. Brother of Matthew, Derek, Gayleen, and Andy Andrews, Kathy Ann and June Jones, Damien, Delon and Natasha Joseph, Andrea and Carrie. Nephew of Nita Joseph, Margaret, Hermione, Basil, Godfrey, and Matthew Andrews. Uncle of many including Jared, Ryan, Melvin, Joshua, Tamika, Shondi, Raymond, and Marlon. Father-in-law of Carmel McNeil. Brother-in-law of Beverly Thomas and Dolores Andrews. Many cousins, other relatives and friends in Grenada, Canada, the USA, and Trinidad, including Claudia Whiteman and family, the Louison family, Pamela Bushell and family, June and family, Nelsia Thompson, the Joseph, Paul, and Twine and Mitchell families of Windsor Forest, Rudolph, Bruno, Anthony and Paul Telesford, the staff of Customs and Excise, the pastor and congregation of Prayers of Faith Sanctuary, and friends and neighbours of Windsor Forest and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Barnabas Andrews, also known as Roger Andrews of Windsor Forest, St. David, will take place on Thursday, 24th March at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Prayers of Faith Sanctuary, Windsor Forest, St. David, and interment will be at the Windsor Forest Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Sybil Matilda Roberts, also known as Mama and Pitty, of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Sunday 13th March 2022 at the age of 81. The funeral arrangements for the late Sybil Matilda Roberts, also known as Mama and Pitty, of New Hampshire St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Teresa Smith, also known as Farm O, of Carrier, who resided at Telescope St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday 17th March 2022 at the age of 84. The funeral arrangements for the late Teresa Smith, also known as Farm O, of Carrier, who resided at Telescope St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
George Ferguson of Shantimel St. Patrick died on Sunday 13th March at the age of 73. The funeral arrangements of the late George Ferguson will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Lloyd Edric Chetram, also known as Babu or Caesar, of Brothers St. John, passed away on Friday 11th March 2022 at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Lloyd Edric Chetram, also known as Babu or Caesar, of Brothers St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Ian Redhead, also known as Flyers of Hillsborough Street, who resided at Melville Street and Archibald Avenue, St. George's, passed away on Friday 11th March at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements of the late Ian Redhead will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Matthew Nelista Grant of Riversally St. Patrick, who resided at Lapotree St. Andrew and at Beaulieu St. George, passed away on Thursday, March 10th, 2022, at the age of 70. The funeral arrangements for the late Matthew Nelista Grant of Riversally St. Patrick, who resided at Lapotree St. Andrew and at Beaulieu St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Monica Cynthia Knight Martin, affectionately known as Monix, of Mountmorot St. George, passed away on Sunday 6th March 2022 at the age of 87. The funeral arrangements for the late Monica Cynthia Knight Martin, affectionately known as Monix of Mountmorot St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Veronica Horsford, née Bascom, of Retreat St. David, who resided in the USA, passed away on Tuesday 8th March 2022 at the age of 94. The funeral arrangements for the late Veronica Horsford, née Bascom, of Retreat St. David, who resided in the USA, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Joseph Peterson of Shantimel St. Patrick, who resided in the United Kingdom, passed away on Friday 25th February in the UK at the age of 87. The funeral arrangement of the late Joseph Peterson of Shantimel St. Patrick, who resided in the United Kingdom, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Cyprian Batiste, also known as Sippo and Dread, of Pedmotar St. David, passed away on Thursday, March 3rd, 2022, at the age of 62. The funeral arrangements for the late Cyprian Baptiste, also known as Sippo and Dread, of Pedmotar St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Monica Cador Neilangine of Concord St. John passed away on Saturday, 5th March 2022, at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Monica Cador Neilangine of Concord St. John will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Velma Ada Murray of Monkridge St. Patrick, who resided at Grenville Street, St. George's, passed away on Friday, 4th March 2022, at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Velma Ada Murray of Monkridge St. Patrick, who resided at Grenville Street, St. George's, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
The Bible, this book, familiar to every person on the face of the earth today, gives us directions for our life. When death comes, there is great sorrow to the family and friends and loved ones of the one that has passed on. But if we put our trust in the Lord Jesus Christ and we follow the instructions of this book, we know we will meet again. We don't take it lightly. We don't take it for granted. There must be a decision, because without a decision, the decision is made to be separated from God. So put your trust in the Lord. Believe. The thief on the cross said, Lord, consider me. And Jesus said, today you would be with me, this very hour. And they died together. So put your trust in the Lord, and God bless you during your time of grief and bereavement. Put your trust in the Lord.